What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Sports Etouffee. I am your host, Logan Graffia, and we have a great show for you today, so let's get started. On tap first, of course, the New Orleans Saints. Now, everyone was talking about this a few weeks ago, but I want to touch on it again today, is the John Gruden visit to the facility. And many people were very angry that he visited, but you have to understand that everyone should know that Derek Carr had his best years as a quarterback in the NFL under John Gruden, under his tutelage. He was even in the MVP conversation. So having John Gruden come in, tell Pete Carmichael and the offensive staff, hey, this is what worked for Derek. Let's do this. You should do this. And what should we see if we see a John Gruden style offense? A lot of under center, a lot of play action passes, a lot of strong eye with the fullback staggered off to the right, or even the weak eye with the fullback staggered off to the left. It just worked. Derek Carr was absolutely amazing under John Gruden. Even made it to the playoffs under an interim head coach. That was still a John Gruden team. But Derek Carr's nephew on a podcast said, don't be surprised if you see John Gruden stick around maybe throughout the season. It's kind of one of those guys, it's like a consultant, kind of like with the Pelicans with Mike D'Antoni. Just call him up, say, hey, can you help me with the game plan? What do you think? What are you seeing? What should we do? That's basically what I think John Gruden's going to be around for. So that's that. So moving on to the next one is Hunter Renfrow. That's been another topic of discussion for the Saints. Is he a trade target? Is he not? I truly believe Hunter Renfrow will eventually wind up on the Saints because I'm just trying to put two and two together. And it looks like Derek Carr has been kind of recruiting Hunter Renfrow since he's gotten here. And just recently, I know everyone says don't really pay attention to social media and all this other good stuff, but you have to watch it because some people drop subtle hints on social media. And one of which was Hunter Renfrow commenting on one of Derek Carr's Instagram posts of his bow fishing trip with the New Orleans Saints. And it was just, hey, we have to go. So, I mean, that could mean something. That could mean absolutely nothing. But what would Hunter Renfrow mean for this New Orleans Saints offense? It would mean a lot. It would give you another weapon for Derek Carr on top of Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Foster Moreau, who is in the tight end room now, and Jawan Johnson. It would give you a wide receiver that is a true slot receiver, kind of like a Julian Edelman. And every team would love to probably have a Julian Edelman. The Saints really don't have a Julian Edelman. I would like to think Rashid Shaheed might be able to fill that role, but we just don't know. I truly believe Rashid Shaheed will take another leap this year, and he's coming off of a rookie year where he was just only played a few games and he was incredible. So getting Hunter Renfrow would be another boost for this offense. I mean, you can never have too many weapons. You never can have too many weapons at all. So getting Hunter Renfrow, I think, would be another boost for the Saints. It would give you a wide receiver room of Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Hunter Renfrow. Then you have Brian Edwards, who's already familiar with Derek Carr from their days in Las Vegas. And then you have to look at the at the tight end room with Foster Moreau, Jawan Johnson, and now Jesse James, who I believe is the sleeper to make this team, actually, Jesse James. But Hunter Renfrow would actually elevate this team even more. And I truly believe that he will wind up on the New Orleans Saints sooner rather than later. Now, how will the offense differ this year from last year? So I truly think you're going to see more of a Drew Brees type of offense. I mean, for the last 2 years, we've seen the team try to do a Jameis Winston style offense, or when Jameis goes down, or when Jameis went down, They tried to do a Trevor Siemian offense, a Taysom Hill offense, an Andy Dalton offense, and it just did not work. It did not. It was very sloppy, and it was very, not very fun to watch at all. So with the Derek Carr offense, you're going to probably see more of a Drew Brees style offense, maybe from the '09 year, maybe from the 2011 year, even as recent as the 2018 or 2019 season. You might see a lot more running packages. I mean, we have Jamal Williams, we have Alvin Kamara, we have Kendra Miller now. You have 3 running backs, one of which is a rookie, but that doesn't mean anything. I truly believe you'll see a more run-heavy offense with a lot of play action, which the Saints used to kill people with once upon a time. Play action the Saints used to kill people with once upon a time, big time. And I truly believe that you'll see that again. So I am very excited. And we have mandatory minicamp in the coming days this week from the 13th through the 15th. You'll see a lot of faces at mandatory minicamp that you didn't see at voluntary OTAs. Alvin Kamara is one of them. So I'm truly excited to see how that works out. And I am truly excited in general to see how the team looks at minicamp and at training camp. So we'll see how that works out. So next topic at the water cooler, I would like to say, is the New Orleans Pelicans. The NBA draft is coming up on the 22nd. They are having a lot of draft visits. One very intriguing draft visit, I'd like to say, is Caleb Daniels. Many people are saying, why would I want to talk about someone who's going to be an undrafted free agent or even a very, very low second round pick? Reason being is, looking at the draft visits, you can see what they're looking for. They've interviewed a lot of three-point shooters, a lot of big men, a lot of tenacious rebounding big men. One of which is the center from Alabama. He was very good. You can see the trend. Pelicans love Alabama players. They do. The last few years, I mean, Herb Jones, Kyra Lewis, John Petty Jr. from the G League. I mean, they've loved their Alabama players. And I don't blame them. Alabama's been a great basketball program under Nate Oates. And even before then under Avery Johnson. They've got a lot of great players. So you're seeing the trend. They're looking for a three-point shooter, and it looks like another big man. Because it looks like we're going to lose Willie Hernan-Gomez to free agency. He looks like he's going to want to leave, and I don't blame him because we did not give him no minutes this year. So I can see the trend. So if you're asking me what I think the Pelicans will draft, I think they'll go after a three-point shooter, a combo guard, another combo guard, or a big man. We've already seen them interview the big man from Duke, Derek Lively, the second. And I'm okay with getting either or. But free agency as well will be huge for this team. One of my favorite targets out there for free agency is Naz Reid. He might only be 6'9", but in the world of basketball these days, this is the small ball era, and the positionless basketball is what teams are playing these days. A lot of teams are playing positionless basketball, and Naz Reid gives you the perfect small ball center, and it helps him come back to Louisiana where he played college ball at many moons ago. I think that would be the perfect target. And, of course, I mean, Chris Paul. I ain't got to say much about Chris Paul. I mean, he would elevate this team to new heights. Chris Paul loves dishing it out to his centers. He loves throwing lobs. I mean, I love CJ McCollum to death. I do. But he's not a true point guard. He is not Chris Paul. So I am all in favor of going after Chris Paul. And, of course, Naz Reid. That would be my favorite free agency target. Now, as for the draft, my favorite draft target is Chris Murray. He is Keegan Murray's brother. They're almost the same player. And if you looked at the Kings this season, Keegan Murray was a three-point marksman, broke the rookie record for 3 points made this year for a rookie. Chris Murray can do almost the same identical things as his brother. We can use something like that in the Pelicans. Now, James Borrega has been hired to be the lead assistant for the New Orleans Pelicans, and many people are wondering, what will we see? Well, I am here to tell you that. A lot of Iverson cuts, and if you don't know what that is, I recommend looking up film of James Borrega's time with the Charlotte Hornets. A lot of pick and rolls, a lot of EuroLeague style pick and rolls, or some people call it the Spain pick and rolls. It's very fast, pace and space. You gotta love it. I mean, this team really excels when they play fast. Very much so. If you go back and look at film, this team looked great pushing the ball. Get a rebound, push it, coast to coast, dish it out. You're going to see a lot more of that. Now, with Willie Green, I would say as the head coach / defensive coordinator, because I know we kept Jaron Collins, but I still like to think of Willie Green as the also de facto DC in a manner of speaking. James Borrega will be the offensive coordinator for the New Orleans Pelicans, and I am truly excited because if this team can play or use that offense that he used in Charlotte, I am all for it because the Charlotte roster wasn't really built to win when he was there, and it's not entirely his fault. Here in New Orleans, he has C.J. McCollum, Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Jonas Valanciunas. I think this team can be very successful with James Borrega as the lead assistant, and I'm very excited to see. Now, moving forward, the LSU Tigers baseball team is heading to Omaha, you guys, for the first time since 2009. They just swept Kentucky 2-0 in the Baton Rouge Regional. They will be playing the winner of the Southern Miss Tennessee matchup. Southern Miss and Tennessee are currently tied 1-1. So the Tigers will get a much-needed rest before they find out who they play in Omaha. Tiger fans should be very, very excited. We have a chance to go all the way. And the one team that I am actually worried about playing, who has been incredible all year long, is Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Now, LSU started off very hot this year, but slowly went down. They even had to go to the losers bracket this year and didn't do very well. But they have turned it around, and you got to credit Jay Johnson and his coaching staff, and especially his pitching staff. Many fans questioned why he started Paul Skeens against Tulane of all teams in this tournament. It worked out very well. He wanted to get in and get out quickly. Beat him quickly and let's just go home and get ready for next game. That was what I was thinking. I'm not going to question Jay Johnson's decisions. He's been to the College World Series. He's won at Arizona. So I'm not going to question his decisions. I am truly excited to see how much further this Tigers team can go. I really think, if you had to ask me, I really think it's going to be, in the end, Wake Forest and LSU playing for the title. And I really think it's going to be fun. It's going to be tough for this Tigers team. And I am hopeful that the LSU Tigers will come out on top. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fun episode of Sports Etouffee. Welcome. I hope you come back and join me for many other episodes going forward. So with that being said, I am Logan Graffia. Thanks for stopping by.